Hi, everyone, and good afternoon. Happy Friday. I hope everyone's doing well. I'm immigration attorney Yael Brudner, and I am wrapping up this week with immigration questions and answers. And specifically, I'm going to answer the most frequently asked questions that we received this week. So throughout the week, all the time, we get questions from clients and from potential clients that are interested in starting an immigration case, and they have questions about the process. So I picked the top three, I think 3 or 4 questions that I think would be interesting for you guys. But if you have a specific question that you would like to ask me, feel free to ask them in the comments. I am streaming live today to multiple platforms. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. So wherever you are, feel free to answer questions, and I'll gladly answer them as we go. So I'm going to jump right in, and I'm going to answer the first question. I'm going to pull it up here. This is the question we get all the time, but this week I feel like there was multiple times we got this question, so I'm going to go ahead and answer it. The question is, I'm an F1 student and I married a green card holder. Can I apply for a green card in the US? And it's a great question. F1 student, can they apply for a green card in the US if they married a green card holder, if they married a lawful permanent resident? So the answer to that question is yes. However, they need to make sure that they are meeting specific requirements. So in order to apply for your green card here in the US, or what's called adjust your status here in the US, you have to have entered with a visa, have been admitted to the US. And if you're an F1 student, I'm sure you came in on an F1 visa. And you have to be maintaining status. So as opposed to if you get married to a US citizen where specific violations are waived, with green card, if you're married a green card holder, you have to make sure that there's no violations in your immigration status. So for example, that you have been maintaining your status as a student, no lapse in your status, and that you have not worked without authorization, because students are not authorized to work. Let's say this different example. If you're a tourist, if you're here on a B2, B1, B2, and you get married to a green card holder, you have to make sure that you are not working without authorization and that you have not overstayed. That is different from if you get married to a US citizen, that is waived for you. Okay, so an F1 student can definitely adjust their status here in the US if they get married to a lawful permanent resident. They just need to make sure that they're complying with their status until they file the application to adjust status. Okay, for those of you joining me on TikTok right now, or on Instagram or Facebook, I'm immigration attorney Yael Brudner. I'm answering immigration questions today. So if you have any questions, feel free to write them in the comments and I will try to get to them as we go. Okay, let's see. Our next question, most frequently asked question. I'm here on a B2 visitor. Can I change my status to E2? That's another question that we get a lot. So if you are here as a visitor and you want to change to another status, any status, the most important thing you need to make sure is that you are maintaining your status so that you haven't overstayed and then you haven't worked without authorization or went to school or did anything else that you shouldn't be doing as a tourist. As long as you maintained your status, you're still in status, so you're still here in a period of authorized stay, your I-94 is not expired, you can change to an E2 investor visa. And the E2 is a great option if you are a member of a national, if you're a national of a treaty country. So the E2 is available to many people, but not all countries qualify. So if you're here in a B2 and you're a national of a treaty country, so a country that has a special agreement with the United States, then you are eligible to change your status. Of course, you also have to comply with all the requirements for the E2, which is you have to make an investment in a U.S. Business, a U.S. company, either a new company that you're starting or an already active company. That's also an option. So changing to the E2 is a great option. We've been helping a lot of people with that, investors. And the E2 investor is a great option because it does allow for people to live and work here in the US in increments of 2 years. You need to renew it every 2 years, but in most cases you can renew it without limits. So it's an interesting option if it is relevant to you. We'd love to help you. We'd love to assist you and give you more information about this type of visa. Okay, let's see our questions that we have here. Okay, here's the question. I will be eligible to file for citizenship soon. Do I need to renew my green card as well? We have had a rush of people filing for citizenship. It started, early fall in August, September, where people were rushing to file before the increase of the fees for citizenship, which ended up not happening. But until the last minute, we all thought they're going to increase the filing fees. And then there was the rush before December 1st because USCIS announced that they're going to release a new version of the citizenship test, and it's going to be a little bit more harder. So we've been filing a lot of citizenship cases, and a lot of people are also curious and wondering if they also need to renew their green card. So the answer to that question is that yes, you're supposed to be with a valid, non-expired green card at all time. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to technically file to renew your green card if it's expiring. And I'm talking about the 10-year green card. If you have a 10-year green card and it's expiring, you should renew it even if you are filing for naturalization. Now, if you file for naturalization and it's 6 months before the expiration of your green card, then you could apply for what's called a stamp in your passport that will allow you to travel even if your green card is expired. Okay, if you filed for naturalization 6 months before the expiration of your green card. That's a little caveat that might help some people. But you need to have a valid green card if you need to travel and if you need it for your employer. Some people are in a situation where they don't necessarily need to show an employer that they are authorized to work, so they don't need it for that purpose, and then they're not planning to travel. So if that is you, you might, take the risk and not renew your green card. You're still a lawful permanent resident, even if your green card is expired. That's something that's really important to know. So to answer this question, yes, you should renew it, but there are cases where you can go without renewing it. So if this is the situation, it's a good idea to contact an attorney, an immigration attorney, and consult with them if it's a good idea to do that or not. Okay, let's see. There's a question here on Facebook. Can I work in the US while waiting for my green card? I'm going to just pop that question up. That's a great question. If you applied for your green card here in the US, then you probably applied also for a work authorization. And once you get your work authorization, you can work while you're waiting for your green card. Okay, if that's the situation, then you just have to wait until you get your work authorization. Okay, I hope I answered the question. If you have any follow-ups, let me know. Okay. For those of you joining right now, I'm immigration attorney Yael. I'm answering immigration questions, so feel free to write them in the comments if you have any for me. I will gladly answer them. Okay, and the last question I have here I see is, I have a fiance abroad and I want to petition him. What are the requirements for the fiance visa? And that's another great question. We do get this question often, people interested in the fiance visa. The fiance visa is a visa that is available for U.S. citizens that have fiancés abroad that they want to bring in. It's only available for U.S. citizens to petition for. So if you're a green card holder, you can't do this. This option is not available. And the U.S. citizen would have to show immigration a few requirements. The first requirement is that you, the U.S. citizen, and your fiance have met within the last 2 years. Okay, so you need to show evidence of this meeting, unless your culture or doesn't allow it or doesn't approve it, or there's other reasons why you weren't able to meet in the last 2 years. And we just had a case recently where the couple has not met within the last 2 years, but not because they didn't want to, but because of COVID. They couldn't travel to meet each other, and there were some medical issues, and the couple was in a risk category and they just didn't want to travel. So we submitted a request to waive the 2-year requirement due to the hardship that would have caused them to travel to meet each other. But in general, you do have to show 2 years that you have met at least once within the last 2 years. You need to show that you're free to marry. So you need to show that if you've been married before, that you are properly divorced and you can marry again. And then you're at the age of marriage and you can legally marry. And then you have to submit an intent letter showing that you do intend to get married here in the U.S. Within 90 days of your fiance coming into the U.S. So you'll see that there's not a lot of requirements for the fiance visa, and it's something that we do a lot. So if this is something that is interesting to you, if you need help with this, feel free to reach out, and we'd love to help you with your fiance visa. It's one of my favorite visas. Okay, I'm gonna see here on TikTok if there's any questions. Okay. Okay, Sandeep is asking, how long is citizenship taking these days? It's taking about a year, depending on where you are, but more or less an average about a year from when you file for citizenship to when you get called for your interview. Okay, Farid is asking, when is a good time to call you? You can call us right now. The office is open. The number is 714-794-9366, and you can schedule consultation. And we love to discuss your case with you. Let's see. Madha is asking, I'm a citizen and I applied for my wife in India, but I didn't get a respond. Almost like a year. So what step are you in the process? And give me a little bit more information about that. Okay. Mike is asking, hi, can I file a 601A and a 601 in the USA? I have an I-130 approved. I have a misrepresented use of a different name when I came. Definitely, yes. The 601 or you most likely would need the 601. The 601A is for unlawful presence. So definitely, what I would recommend is to call and schedule consultation, because waivers are complicated. It's not something that you should do by yourself. You need an attorney to really look into that for you and file that for you. So if you're interested, you can call the office and we'd love to schedule a consultation to help you. Okay. Let's see. Madha is giving me a little bit more information. Let's see. Sorry, the questions on TikTok go really quickly, so I'm sorry if it takes me a while here or if I'm missing any questions. If I miss your question, just write it again, okay? Okay, so Mad is saying that your file is at the NVC. Okay, so your file has been at the NVC for more than a year. Definitely, you'd have to email them and reach out. There's an email that you can email. Go on the NVC website and email them to ask for a status of your case. If you're at the NVC, you should have uploaded documents to their website and get in some kind of update from them. If you're waiting for the interview, that really depends on the consulate or embassy of your home country. Right now, a lot of them are not open and they're not issuing any visas. So there's a little bit of wait there. But at the NVC step, you should be able to complete everything that you need to do, all the documents that you need to do to upload there, and you need to be ready for the interview. Okay. For those of you guys just joining now, I am Immigration Attorney Yael, and I'm answering immigration questions, so feel free to write them as we go, and I'm trying to answer them as much as I can. Let's see. think I did all the questions. 2021 is coming and very soon, and we are optimistic that we'll see some improvements in immigration. The last few years have been tough. I'm not going to lie. It's been a lot of pushback and a lot of new regulations and new laws that came in almost on a daily basis. Every day we had a new surprise with immigration and USCIS, but we're hopeful that with the new year, with the new administration, we'll see some improvements and some movements with immigration cases that are taking a while. And also, hopefully with COVID, we'll see some improvement with embassies and consulates opening around the world and starting to issue visas, because right now a lot of them are not issuing visas. So it's really frustrating for many people that are waiting. Okay, guys, I think I've answered all the questions. I wish you guys a wonderful weekend. If you have any questions, you want to talk to me specifically, feel free to reach out. My number is 714-794-9366. You can visit our website, brudnerlaw.com. You can find this info in my bio. And that's it for today. Have a great weekend and stay safe. And I will be here soon, very soon.